Hey guys, Emmanuel here, and before I jump into the video, I just want to ask you guys to give me the HBO special, and that is the help a brother out by subscribing to this channel and leaving a like under this video. It helps me out a lot, and I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to do that. Alright, now that that's over, guys, the NBA season creeps closer and closer. It will be starting next month in October, and with that, Scottie Barnes' second season in the NBA gets closer and closer. And so with that, I want to talk about the growth that I've seen from Scottie Barnes, not only from last season, this offseason, and now the upcoming season. This offseason, Scottie Barnes has shown tremendous growth to me. He's shown to me that he's committed to getting better. He's committed to the Toronto Raptors, not only by taking care of his body, by improving himself physically, but also being in the gym, working on his game, trying to improve step by step, little by little. And because Scottie Barnes is a huge part of the Raptors' future, I would argue the most intrinsic part as of right now, barring any major acquisitions from the Toronto Raptors in the future or a major trade, Scottie Barnes, as of right now, is the Raptors' future. And seeing him grow and become a better player just makes me feel good. So let's talk about what we can expect from Scottie Barnes in his second season in the NBA. In the first year, the rookie season, it can be very scary and very changing for a rookie to adapt to playing with, grown men, how fast the game is. And now that Scottie Barnes has gotten over that hump, it's a different ball game now in his second sophomore season in the NBA. And there are really two things that I want Scottie Barnes to work on this upcoming season. Two steps that I want him to take. There might be baby steps now, but eventually they will compound. And the first thing is, I would love to see Scottie Barnes incorporate and try to do more posting up this upcoming season. As of right now, Scottie Barnes doesn't really post up. Scottie Barnes is a forward like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, but post game seems to be a weakness of his that he can improve on, and I would love to see him improve on that. Now, I understand it's 2022, right? And the game has evolved and changed so much that it's so fast-paced that posting up isn't as valuable as it used to be. And this is a byproduct of Stephen Curry. I believe that Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors is the reason the NBA is the way that it is today. It's super fast-paced. You will see guys get the ball and run up and chuck a three or try to do two passes and try and get a shot off. So nowadays you see less and less players actually, utilize different ways of scoring, different ways of getting the ball into the basket, like posting up. It's one of the things that's gone by the wayside, kind of like how traditional centers kind of went by the wayside. If a center today is in the NBA, he must be able to not only post up, he must also be able to shoot three. Being able to post up and having good footwork and discipline is still an essential and invaluable skill that just can't be overlooked. And it is that way particularly because there are going to be times in Scottie's career in which he's going to need to be able to slow down games, pace that's more fitting for him. Or sometimes his mid-range shot or his three-point shot aren't going to be dropping, and he's going to need a different way of scoring. And this is what this is about. It's about diversifying your methods of scoring, different ways of scoring. You can have only one way of scoring, shoot threes or put your head down and try and drive to the basket, but at some point those are going to become harder to do if a team plans for you, and you're going to need to be able to score in different many ways. So this upcoming season, I'd like to see Scottie Barnes make baby steps, make an effort, stride forward to posting up, even if it makes him uncomfortable, because it can be uncomfortable for a player that's usually doesn't have that in a repertoire. That's not my move, right? An example of this is other players that play the same position as Scottie Barnes, Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Kevin Durant has a spot on the floor. He'll get up there and he'll post up and try and get a shot. It almost becomes like a routine, a habit. After you do it so many times, it becomes, more comfortable. And I don't see it enough from Scottie Barnes to the point where I think he's comfortable with that. And it adds an arsenal of moves to your bag. For example, LeBron James. LeBron James, as time has gone by, LeBron is starting to rely more and more on his ability to post up. And that's because LeBron is getting older. LeBron can't score the same way now that he used to when he was 23, when he was 27. If you go back and you watch LeBron when he was 23, LeBron was so fast, so powerful, so explosive. Now, as he ages, those things go away with time, right? So he needed to be able to diversify his methods of scoring. There's times where LeBron just puts his head down and he goes to the basket like the freight train that he is, and that was early on in his career. Now the LeBron that we see and the LeBron that was in 2006, two different players. As you can see, LeBron will post up and he'll use that huge stature of his weight, and he'll back down smaller players, and he'll be able to get that fadeaway. And Kobe used to do it. Kobe used to be able to just bat someone down and fade away. Even Kevin Durant does it, right? It makes you more lethal. It makes you more versatile. And I want that for Scottie Barnes. And I want Scottie Barnes to level up this way. Take this an incremental small step next season. I know he's not going to be an expert next season like LeBron, doing crazy fadeaways, doing a Kobe crazy fadeaways, or fading away like Michael Jordan. But I want him to at least start to do it slowly, to the point where eventually he's going to start to become more comfortable with it, and he's going to start to practice it more, and you're going to start seeing him use it more in games. And the next thing I want to see from Scottie Barnes is I want Scottie Barnes to be more tenacious down the stretch in the fourth quarter. What I see from Scottie is that he becomes way too passive. Right? He lets the game go by. He almost becomes a passenger of the game, right? Instead of being able to take over the game by being more aggressive. I don't expect him to be the primary ball scorer of the Toronto Raptors next season, or the go-to player for them next season, because Pascal Siakam obviously still on the team. Fred VanVleet still on the team. These guys are a little bit older, a little bit more veteran. They have this in them, right? Especially, I think, Fred VanVleet. I think he's more composed, and if the game needs to be taken over, he can. We saw that from him in that championship that the Raptors had. He was a sharpshooter for the Raptors. He would take over. He would be very crucial to games where he would just get super hot. I want to see that more from Scottie Barnes, not in the shooting aspect, but just being able to take the ball and be a little bit more aggressive, be a little bit more hungry by going to the basket. I'm either going to make the bucket, or I'm either going to get a foul. I want to see that from him. That could be really, really beneficial in the mentality. And I think that in order to have that, one has to have an alpha type of personality, alpha type of mentality to be able to pull that off. And I really do think that Scottie Barnes has that in him. I really see that from him. I want him to be able to at least be an integral part in winning games late down the stretch, because there's going to be times, right, where it's do or die, it's sink or swim, and you need to get your Mamba mentality on and get to the rim, get a bucket. Like I said, I don't expect him to be, the go-to guy, the primary guy for the Toronto Raptors. But what I really want is I want Scottie Barnes to take these two steps, implement them incrementally into his game, so that next year, maybe he posts up maybe 5 times a game, maybe he's a little bit more aggressive in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter. And eventually, if he does this next season, then the season after that, 5 years down the line, Scottie Barnes is going to be a completely different player than the Scottie Barnes that we know right now. And then eventually, when Scottie Barnes hits his prime around 26 to however long it lasts, Scottie Barnes will probably be one of the best players in the entire NBA. And I do have faith in Scottie Barnes. I think Scottie Barnes has it in him to be a top 3 player eventually at some point in his career. I think that's how talented he is. But yeah, guys, this is just my thoughts, what I'm seeing from Scottie Barnes. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Again, give me the HBO special by hitting the subscribe button and leaving a like. Comment your thoughts below. And until next time, kids.